My name's Caleb, and I used to live in Hollow Creek, the kind of town that disappears off most maps. I thought I left that place behind years ago, but the thing about Hollow Creek is that it never really lets you go, especially on Halloween night. Every October 31st, when the moon turns red and the mist curls through the trees, folks swear they can still hear hooves echoing down the old highway. Fire in the fog, they say. The sound of a horse that never tires. Most people laugh it off. I did too, until the year I came back. I was 27, broke, and looking for a reset. My mom had passed, and her house still stood on the edge of town. Old, creaky, and half swallowed by weeds. I thought maybe I'd fix it up, sell it, start over somewhere that didn't smell like smoke and cedar. But from the moment I crossed that crooked wooden sign that read "Welcome to Hollow Creek," the air felt heavy, like it remembered me. The locals stared the way small towns do, that slow, measuring kind of look that says you shouldn't have come back. I stopped at the diner. Same neon sign, same flickering buzz. The waitress was older, gray hair tied up, hands shaking just a little as she poured coffee. Her name tag said Lena, and she said, "You look just like him." I asked, "Like who?" She replied, "Sheriff Rowan, the one who burned the rider." I laughed it off, but her eyes didn't change. Sheriff Rowan was my great-grandfather. The man they said hanged a rancher named Caleb Rowe for a murder he didn't commit. Same name as mine. Family tradition, apparently. He died in that same fire that killed Rowe's wife and son. The story went that before he burned, Rowe cursed the bloodline of every Rowan who ever set foot in Hollow Creek again. It was local myth and campfire talk. Until that night. I'd been unpacking boxes when the power flickered. The radio popped on by itself. An old AM channel playing static. Then a single word came through, like a whisper dragged across fire. "Ride!" Killed the radio. The sound didn't stop. Outside in the fog, I swear I heard hoofbeats. Slow, deliberate, echoing down the gravel road that led to the woods. And I made the first mistake, the one every fool in every ghost story makes. I went outside to look. The mist was thick enough to choke on. My flashlight beam just bounced back at me. Then I saw them, prints. Hoof prints burned into the dirt, still smoking. When I bent down, I felt heat coming off the ground. That's when I smelled it. Smoke, iron, and something else. Old leather maybe, mixed with ash. Then a shadow moved in the fog. I caught just a glimpse, the curve of a horse's flank, black as coal, and something flickering where the rider's head should have been. I stumbled backward, hit the fence, dropped the flashlight. By the time I got the beam steady again, the road was empty. I told myself it was a trick of the mist. Memory. But that smell, smoke and fire, it lingered long after I shut the door. That was the start of it, but not the end. Over the next week, the dreams came. Every night the same vision. Fire rolling through fog, a horse's scream, chains dragging through dirt. And in the middle of it all, a man on fire pointing straight at me. I started keeping a journal, tried to make sense of it. And each entry got stranger. October 28th. He knows my name. October 29th. He's closer. October 30th. I can smell the fire again. Halloween came like a bruise on the calendar. The town put on its usual parade. Floats, costumes, kids throwing candy. I went to film it, thinking maybe normal life would drown out the nightmares. But the air was too still. Even the music sounded wrong, off-key. That's when I saw her again. Lena, the waitress, standing near the sheriff's old statue. Her face was pale, eyes wide. Lena said, "He's coming." I asked, "Who?" She pointed past me. The crowd was cheering at something. A costume maybe. A man on a horse wearing a cowboy hat, the whole get-up. Flames painted on the sides of the fake horse. Everyone thought it was part of the parade. Until the smell hit. Real smoke. The horse's mane ignited first. Then the saddle, then the rider's coat. People screamed, scattering as fire poured from its hooves. Froze. The rider turned his head, or what was left of it, toward me. His skull burned with a light so bright it carved the fog apart. Ghost rider, echoing Rowan's blood rides again. The ground shook. The parade float exploded into cinders. Ran. I didn't stop until I reached the old church at the edge of town. Half collapsed, windows blown out. I hid behind the pulpit, gasping. That's when I heard another voice, faint from beneath the floorboards, whispering, "You can't run from your own blood." I pried up the rotten planks and found a rusted lockbox. Inside was a journal wrapped in cloth. The cover read, "Sheriff Rowan, 1892. I lit a match and started to read. Rowan wrote about the hanging, about the mob that burned Caleb Rowe's ranch. He admitted he knew Rowe was innocent. He'd done it to steal his land, the richest vein of or under Hollow Creek. And he'd lied about it until the night Rowe died in flames. Rowe's final words were scrawled in the margin. Blood for blood. Every fire leaves an ember." When the match burned out, I realized my hands were shaking, not from fear but from heat. The pages were warm. Outside, the hoofbeats started again and louder this time. I looked through the cracked window and saw fire bleeding across the fog, rolling toward the church. He was coming for me. I ran into the woods, the same woods my great-grandfather once patrolled. Trees flashed by, lit orange by the fire behind me. I could feel his heat on my back. Then the ground opened beneath me. I fell into a ravine, landed hard in the mud. The world went black. When I woke, it was silent, too silent. And then I realized I wasn't alone. The horse stood above me on the ridge, fire dripping from its mouth. The rider dismounted, his boots hissing against the wet ground. He reached down, picked up the journal I'd dropped. Ghost Rider said, "Your blood wrote this sin." He pressed the burning pages against my chest. But instead of fire, there was light. Bright, blinding light, and I saw everything. The hanging, the lies, the curse passing through generations. And beneath it all, the truth. The rider wasn't just vengeance. He was the memory of justice that the town had buried. When I came to awareness, dawn was breaking. The journal was gone. Only a scorched mark on my chest remained, shaped like a horseshoe. I thought it was over, but I was wrong. Days passed. The sheriff's office called it a freak gas fire. The news blamed faulty wiring. But I knew better. Then I packed to leave. I thought distance would save me. But it didn't. Everywhere I went, motels, highways, cities, the smell of smoke followed. In mirrors, I'd catch flashes of a horse galloping through flame. When I slept, I heard chains. One night in a roadside motel, I saw something scrawled on the bathroom mirror in ash. Ride. So I did. I took my old bike and rode until the stars vanished behind fog. Somewhere near Hollow Creek, the engine sputtered and died. The road was empty except for the faint glow ahead and fire reflecting off the mist. He was waiting, and I whisper, "Why me?" Ghost Rider echoed in a distant, "Because you remember." His voice wasn't anger anymore, it was sorrow. I realized then what he wanted wasn't my death. It was my confession. So softly said, "Rowan lied. You were innocent. He burned you for greed." The rider dismounted, his skull dimming, flames softening to ember. Ghost Rider said, "Then ride with me, descendant of Rowan. Burn the lies away." He held out a hand made of smoke and fire. When I took it, pain seared through me, every nerve screaming, but behind the pain came clarity. I saw Hollow Creek as it really was. A town built on stolen ground, cursed by silence. I saw every Rowan who'd lived and lied since. And I saw my own face among them, eyes glowing like coals. When the fire cleared, I was standing on the road, alone. The horse and rider were gone, but their mark was still there, flaming hoofprints stretching towards the town. Followed them. Back at Hollow Creek, the houses were dark. The air was thick with fog. The hoofprints led straight to the old sheriff's statue, rebuilt after the parade fire. Without thinking, I raised my hand. Flames burst from my palm. The statue ignited, burning from the inside out. And in that blaze I saw him again, the rider, nodding once before fading into the smoke. People say the fires that night were an accident, that the town finally rebuilt and moved on. But every Halloween the roads still glow faintly, and sometimes, if you listen close enough, you can hear two sets of hooves, one burning bright, and one that sounds a lot like me. So if you're ever in Hollow Creek and you hear the hoofbeats, don't look out the window, 'cause if you do, you might see me. And I don't always ride alone. If you made it this far, remember, every curse begins with a story, and now you've heard mine. Share this video before midnight, or maybe you'll hear the hooves outside too. Subscribe for more original horror stories every week, and leave a comment in the comment section about your choice of horror, urban legends and myths.